Right, so I'm going to cut down through this line here now. I've set up a straight edge basically across the pit to make sure that the dyno ends up square with where the car is positioned. So I've just scored a line through the floor here, so I'm just going to cut that through with an angle grinder and up each side. Then when I kangaroo it away, I'll get left with a fairly clean edge to build again. Right, a bit of digging later and well, I'm working my way down, digging it by hand because we haven't got nothing that'll fit in here. So got the pick and the shovel out. I've got two old foundations here that I need to kangaroo out yet as well. I've just found those. So just a bit more digging to go really, get down a good sort of 5-6 inches so I can put a decent bed of concrete in. Figured it was probably time for an update here. As you can see, the hole is heading downwards. Bit of a change of plan. We were actually going to keep the depth of the hole the same as it was, obviously make it bigger, and actually have the dyno above ground slightly this time. But we actually did a few measurements and calculations and realised that it was actually going to end up being sort of nearly a whole 4-inch block's worth higher than sort of like 12 inches or so higher than the ground level, which although was kind of thinking was going to be a good thing because it's going to give us more clearance underneath the car back here to put on tie down straps, etc. We're a little bit concerned with the headroom we got in here because, as anyone that's been here will know, the workshop, although it's kind of does what we need it to, there's not a huge amount of headroom in here, and we're a bit concerned about if we sort of rise the dyno up, is that going to give us problems with getting some of the sort of taller vehicles in over the pit, or on the dyno itself, come to the point. So we've decided to sort of screw that idea, and we're actually going to sort of put the effort in and dig down a bit more. So we've just sort of kangarooed out the concrete that we put in last time, and we're now digging back down. So we're going to dig down, put a concrete bed in like we did last time. The only difference this time is we're going to be building up all around the outside with block, because the block around the outside will then actually support the top half of the dyno. Only the rollers themselves are actually bolt to the floor, and the whole top half will then be removable. So effectively you can just lift the covers off all in one go and get right around the rollers and the eddy brake to clean anything out, which should overall be a much better design. And obviously the unit will be then sunk down in the floor as is intended really. It's probably the best thing to do. Right, a bit of digging later. I think we're down to the right level here now. We've gone down, well I think we're down deeper, don't you reckon, Chris? Than what we need to be. I think Chris is just quenching his thirst. It is bloody warm out this evening actually. We've been combining all day, but we've come in a bit early today, so we've been here doing this. We've gone down plenty deep enough, we reckon, so that's good. We're going to set some boards up now just to get some levels. It's all a bit awkward in this workshop because every single sort of floor area right around this pit is at a different height, but the highest is this corner here, so we're going to base everything on that corner. So we'll set a level across the other side, level the two up. And we're aiming to have a couple inches of lift right around the dyno, just to set it up from the floor ever so slightly, just to help us get our hands in under. I think that should actually be better on this dyno anyway because of the closer coupled rollers. That should keep the car up in the air a bit more. So we're going to set some levels up now. As you can see, we've gone down through some pretty bloody hard levels of concrete and foundations and God knows what else that's been in here over the years. Dug most of what we dug, well, dug everything that we dug today with a pick and a shovel, but we did have a kangaroo here the other day to get rid of the sort of bulk of it and what we laid in there last time. But here she be. We just loaded it into the Ivor Williams here again to move it around because it is a heavy beast. Very heavy, as in almost a bit heavy for the little tractor. I moved it with the big one in the first time round, and I probably should have moved it that time. But here she is. So it's a Sunram 11 eddy brake. Just a few minor modifications to the trailer there. So this is going to be going in the new hole. Now you can probably see why we had the hole a bit bigger, because he is considerably larger than the other. So this one's going to be eddy brake, so we can have full computer controlled load, allowing for sort of, you know, really easy steady state and completely computer automated power runs, for totally sort of much more repeatable results. Not that we weren't getting repeatable results anyway, to be fair, but now it will do it by itself, allowing us to sort of concentrate on other things going on with the car rather than concentrating on loading up the car. So you got much bigger rollers, so hopefully much more traction available. It's hard to actually see in the photo probably, but sort of if I put my hand in here, is a rough sort of comparison, you'll see that the rollers are they're over double the size of the 8.5 inch ones on the Clayton. So that's got to go in there. We've got an airlift in the middle as well. Okay, so some measurements going on here now. What we've done here is we've got it all jigged up on the trailer, mainly because that was the levelest place we could find in this yard. What we're trying to achieve here is to work out the sort of the distance between the floor level, i.e. where we lay the concrete, to the top of the block wall around the perimeter of the hole, which is going to support the top frame that you see here. So what we've done is got the correct height over here on a set of jack stands, and trimming it with 2 jacks at this end. So what we're trying to basically do is get the gap equal all the way around, which we've now done. And as you can see, the 2 rollers are exactly parallel with the frame now, which is good news. It means everything's square and everything's happy. So what we've then done is worked out that measurement, and we're just measuring up the pit now, depth, stroke width, stroke length wise, which we've also measured here. So Chris is just in the pit actually doing a few measurements now. Right, so the tape measure is currently underneath a concrete block.
Well, this is only after tape measure.
Ah, yeah, we forgot to mention that. There's been a small issue with the tape measure in that the end, how many inches? 48 inches?
Yeah, 4 foot broke off.
Yeah, 4 foot have just snapped off the end of the tape measure. So what's happening here is we managed to start the tape at 43 inches and minus that from all the measurements, which isn't ideal, but I haven't got a damn tape measure here, so we're going to have to work with what we got. So here's a hole. We've already diagnosed that we've easily got enough depth. There's enough depth there to actually allow for 6 inches of concrete in the bottom of the hole, which is a really decent stout amount of concrete to really hold things secure. So we can lay that in there, level up and everything. So we're just making sure we've got the length and the width. I'm pretty confident we've got the length.
Yeah, shitloads.
Yeah, loads of length. We're actually a bit shorter than the old dyno, mainly based on the fact that we've only got the 1 break on this one. But it's the width that obviously we've had to massively extend the hole. The hole is nearly twice as wide as it used to be, as you can see. And I'm hoping I've allowed enough for 4 inches block each side when I made that cut along there. Chris is about to find out when he does a few calculations. And you see this side we've got fairly vertical, but this side we've got a bit of a taper.
Oh, yes. We're alright.
We alright?
We're alright.
How much?
We've got 6 inches to spare.
Oh, we got 6 inches of clearance, right, while we're laughing then. That means we haven't got to do any more digging, which after this evening is good news. And on that note, we'll end the video.